Today, a man accused of killing his wife is expected to waive his right to a speedy trial. Prosecutors say James Crow shot his wife, Kristen, back in 2023 in their home in Alfred. It happened just 2 weeks after he had filed for a divorce. This afternoon, a judge will ask Crow if he is willing to give up his Sixth Amendment right, which calls for a fast trial so that anyone accused of a crime does not sit in jail for a long period of time. This is usually part of a defense strategy to get more time to build a case.
A man from Portland who stabbed his roommate to death is now facing 16 years in prison under the terms of a plea deal with the Maine Attorney General's office. Domingos Nobrega killed Matthew Merrick at their apartment on Marshall Street back in 2024. He was originally charged with murder and facing up to 25 years in prison, actually 25 years to life in prison. Yesterday, he did plead guilty to manslaughter in exchange for that reduced sentence. The judge still has to sign off on this deal, and a date for sentencing has not yet been set.
Lewiston is working on recruiting more police officers.
Yeah, this as the youth violence continues just to be a problem in that city. Lewiston PD is looking to fill 11 open positions as of right now. The lack of staffing comes at the same time as the launch of a new initiative to curb youth violence. City leaders are calling it the Community Engagement and Accountability Initiative. It involves city leaders working with the police department to staff the street with a lot more officers to stop repeat offenders in that city. While city leaders and police are working on recruitment efforts, officials say they're really not worried about officers having to work any overtime.
But I also truly believe a lot of our officers, they really love this city. They're committed to their jobs here. You know, if you look at our, never mind our issues with recruitment, if you look at the length of tenure of our officers here, they are committed to Lewiston, they are committed to the city. So I think they're actually looking forward to having the time and the resources available to get out more into the community.
Lewiston police say they have been working on recruitment with new technology and are hopeful that they'll increase staffing soon. Lewiston PD also offering overtime for officers who pick up any extra hours to increase foot patrols in and around the city. Last night, the city council did unanimously approve $200,000 for the PD to cover that overtime pay. Northern Light Eastern Maine Medical Center is ramping up its HIV prevention efforts.
Yeah, there's been a spike in HIV cases in Penobscot County in particular. According to the Maine CDC, there are 45 confirmed cases in the county. The case count has increased 10% just since March. According to the Maine CDC, 91% of the cases are linked to injection drug use and or being unhoused within 1 year of diagnosis. So to help with HIV prevention, doctors at EMMC are now offering long-acting injectables. Doctors say they're supposed to help people who are unhoused by removing the challenge of remembering to take a pill and preventing medication loss.
We're working hard to decrease the number of new HIV cases in the world. But more importantly, locally, we have an HIV outbreak happening in Bangor and in Penobscot County, and we're trying to prevent more cases from occurring. So we want to make more medication available to people to help prevent HIV.
Doctors say the injectable medicine is 99 to 100% effective at preventing HIV. Outreach teams in Penobscot County are working to connect those most vulnerable to health professionals so that they can access the resources.
Dr. Mehmet Oz says he believes that nearly all Medicaid payments made in Maine are unjustified. The U.S. Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services Administrator made the statement yesterday out in Pennsylvania. Here is the clip of what he said.
Yesterday, I was in Maine. We're investigating home support services, just like you're seeing here, for adults in that case who have autism. Medicaid spending of the top 10 providers there has dramatically increased. The massive increases that have grown to the kinds of numbers you could not imagine being able to show on a clipboard, with 90% of services billed and paid for, in Maine in particular, where there is no justifiable backup.
Now, Oz met with second congressional candidate Paul LePage in Maine on Monday. In a post on social media, LePage touted the work of Oz's so-called Medicaid fraud war room and said that if he's elected to Congress, LePage would work to ensure, quote, the truly needy get the help that they need and fraudsters face the consequences that they deserve, end quote.
The company Motive Care will provide non-emergency transportation services to Medicaid patients in Maine. The state Supreme Court decided yesterday to allow the Maine Department of Health and Human Services to keep a contract with the Denver-based company. Penquist Community Action Agency had originally provided the service in 4 counties. It sued the state over its 10-year contract with Motive Care. Leaders at Penquist say they respect the court's decision, and Penquist will continue to provide transportation through the end of the year. Maine Care patients are told that they should not expect any interruptions in the service.